Hi guys, good morning to everybody. This is KEL, and today is the 12th of November 2025. Crazy Global Market Talk with KEL. Now, I apologize once again, guys. I've been very busy working around in Vietnam. And in fact, later on, I'll be going to different country. In fact, I'll be going to Cambodia to do another sharing session over there. And then after that, I may have to fly to China to do another sharing session. So basically, I'm working very hard for the CRAZII system, and also been working very hard to make sure things are done in the right proper way. So that's sometimes I really don't have the time to do this CRAZII global market talk with everybody. Yeah, I'm basically, as long as I got time, I'll squeeze in time for this. But if I can't do that, I humbly apologize. Okay. All right, so before we start this morning session, once again, disclaimer applied as usual. Please do your risk management. It's very important to do that. Okay, let's look at the global market news right now. This is going to be very interesting, yeah? Okay, so first of all, we have a record closing for the Dow Jones last night, but Nasdaq slips as the investors seemingly rotating out of technology stocks. Now, this is something very interesting because you don't expect that oh, okay, there's some. Let me a minute. Yeah, hold on. Someone just text me. They did not receive the morning Zoom content. Okay, let me just forward this out. I did. The link is over here. Let's come. Let me just give me a moment. Do that, but it's settled already. Okay. All right. So why? Because apparently we have one called Michael Burry. He's kind of pretty confident that there will be some selling in the market. I'll cover this shortly. And interestingly, we have a very important guy in technology. His name is actually Masa. This guy. Let me just see inside of this thing here. 1 minute. Masayoshi-san. Oh, it's not in this article. All right. Basically, he has sold off all his NVIDIA shares for quite a bit of profit. And by selling out itself, right, that basically let people feel that something is not very correct. So interestingly, the Dow Jones went up by 559 points. All right. Basically, the people bought into the healthcare products like Merck, Amgen, Johnson & Johnson. Now, these are all a very big blue chips counter. So I kind of feel that the market did it on purpose because there's no reason to buy this blue chip right at this moment. It's seemingly like someone bought the blue chip so that, it balanced the selling in the Nasdaq. So imagine if the Nasdaq was selling and then the Dow Jones was selling, that would create a big sell impact. So seemingly someone has just basically took the funds from the Nasdaq side to buy into the blue chip. But to buy this blue chip, all these counters at this point right now doesn't make sense to me if you ask me, right? So this is where I feel something very amiss over here. And of course, all right, we have basically notable names like Micron Technology, Oracle, Palantir, all moving lower. All right, we all know that Palantir is now under heavy scrutiny. All right. So we all know that the S&P 500 now is trading way above the 20 times PE ratio, which is a little bit high considered to the average of about 16 and 17. But again, the market is buying on that. Now, one thing to know is that the ADP result last month has came down by 11,000. Okay, a bit of a contrast to the gain last month. Okay, so that is for the US side. In the Asia side now, we can see Asia market rose up a bit, but SoftBank shares fell because of Masayoshi-san selling off the NVIDIA stake. Yeah, let me find for you that. All right, the whole stake that they had was sold entirely, and it was a $5.83 billion worth. So interestingly, that's why I feel that the market did it on purpose to just hold the market, to want the market to get in the wrong side. Yeah. Okay. And of course, we do note that the SoftBank seemingly selling with the AI warning, because we all know that this Michael Burry, he's one of the big shot guy. He actually says that the Nvidia is one of the counter that he's selling. So not too sure whether is there any reason for doing that. But of course, we all know that this Michael Burry has been pretty correct back in 2008 when he actually expected the financial crisis to happen. Yeah. All right, so I'll put up this article into our different groups. But main thing is this: Michael Burry feels that the AI hyper scalpers, they are having this artificial boosting of earning. He felt that the earnings itself is a short of the reality. He says that some of the counters, the earnings itself is actually much higher, mentioned much higher. He feel that the profit now is overstated by 27% to 21% respectively by 2028. That means that basically he feels that Oracle and this Meta platform, they have overstated their earnings, and then that causes the price to go higher. So if he is true, wow, then this is going to bring down the market. But again, this is something very interesting because this acquisition is a very serious one. All right. If it's real, the stock market will definitely sell. But if it's not real, then Michael Burry could be in a very serious position. Yeah. So that's why this is going to be very interesting. Now, we all know that Michael Burry was pretty spot on during his 2008 crisis, where everybody was buying and he was selling, and he was wrong for 1.5 years before he got it right. So again, it is possible that he might be wrong now, maybe, then after that later, right? Who knows? Okay, so basically that is the mainstream media news. Now, off the mainstream media, I want to share something very interesting with you, yeah? Okay, so this is the CDS, okay, the contract difference. All right, so basically it is like a cost to what do you call insured against risk. We all know that CDS has been one of the big things back in the market back in 2008. Okay, let's ring in for you. Just a minute, yeah, show you something interesting. So you can see that the CDS actually increased in price yesterday. So why would the CDS be increased when the market is doing well? So unless there's a reason to buy the CDS just for insurance sake. And you can see right now, this is the one of the CDS that is very clear. The number is really building up. Very, very interesting. So if we look at the market, I'll bring to you right now. If you look at what happened back in March and April. All right, so we do a comparison. Right, today the internet is still not too bad. Okay, take this away. Okay, so if you notice this, guys, this is what happened during the March and April impact of the Dow Jones. Can you see that? The Dow Jones basically collapsed from 42,000 all the way to 37,000. Now, of course, back then it was a tariff that basically created this impact. But if you compare this thing right now, you can see that the CDS also has its own impact back then. So, well, again, you can see that this actually happened. So will we actually see this? Why are they buying into the CDS? So again, all this tells you that maybe they know something that we don't know. All right, so what I feel is that we need to be a little bit careful on the NASDAQ counter if you are to ask me. All right, so this sort of thing is that you have to do your homework. You need to know some of the financial market to know this, and I'm sharing this with you right now. And of course, at the same time, we do know that the equity risk premium is now a negative, which means that basically stocks are not giving gains apart than the significant 7. All right. So all this information, if you want to read it, you can go to my CRAZII.com on X, whereby I will always update every 2-3 days. I update, and you can see things over there. I think it's very, very important. Now, there's one more article that I want you to take a look. Just give me a moment. Need to sift through the articles. Give me a minute. Okay. So this is a very insane sentiment where the AAII bulls versus bear, okay, is currently now at -8. Now you can take a look in a very interesting way. It's quite crazy, if you ask me. Is that when you see this, when they are actually in the negative, the market will pull back, right? So when it's negative, the market pullbacks, right? Okay, so this is from 1990 until today. So that we're talking about 35 years of history. So the last time it got very bad was during the COVID period. Okay, fair enough. But now, where are we? We are here. We are at the low level, but where is the market? The market is at a high level. In fact, we just hit historical high. So this is where I kind of realized that this divergence is getting very scary. I think that we should be very, very careful. And I think that if you want to make some good money from the market with the Dow at historical high, you can consider doing that. Yeah. So this is a thing that I want to share with you. Up at the end of the day, you have to decide whether is this information good for you, or you think that this is really, things that you don't bother. Let me know in the comment box. Yeah. Okay. So that will be all for the fundamentals and the global market news. Okay, so now let's look at the stock and the market instead. Right? Let's take a look now. Yeah, 1 minute. Okay, let's look at the gold market. Yeah, I do the gold first because I realize that a lot of people are trading gold. So many people want me to talk about gold first. They feel that gold is more important. So okay, let's talk about gold. Okay, so first of all, why we bought gold recently, I think that was very clear. We followed the CRAZII rule. We follow in and we basically saw this. Okay, we saw the diamond here. And then after that, we have to draw the diamond line on the closing. And after that, if you've done that, beautiful. The next day, the market stays above the diamond line, above OP, yellow candle. KSI was red. All right. So you had to buy big, but you cannot buy big, meaning you cannot buy big quantity because the KSI was red. But the next day, which we went heavy, it was above OP, yellow candle. KSI was green and it's above the diamond line. That was where we heavily went in to buy. And on that day, we take down a few KCB along the way. Yeah. So for those who have traded with me along it, congratulations, well done. You have made money from the market. Okay. So that was why we buy. Now the thing is this, someone asked me this morning, KEL, now the market is here while the diamond line is over here. Is it considered near to diamond line? Of course it's not. This is not near to diamond line, all right? So you cannot use this context and say that, oh, because it's above diamond line, so I can still buy. No, don't do that way. It's too far away, yeah? And second thing itself, if you can see over here, hold a minute, a lot of messages coming in. All right, so and you can see that over here itself, today, the market now is trading between the two pivots. So usually when the market trades between two pivots, it might go sideways for a while. Now the MLP 4121 is a very important support level. I believe just now this morning have just tested it. I'll go to that later. But the KCB at 4116, I think, will be one of the level to take note because I believe that if the market do pull back today, there should be some profit taking back to 4116. Okay. All right. So this is something that we can take note of. Okay, let me just take a picture of this. Give me a minute. Okay. All right. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. One thing is that when the internet is good, you can do a lot of things to share. If it's bad, then of course sometimes you just get a bit frustrating. All right. So let me hope that things go well for today. Right. Okay, not too bad. The speed is decent, not the best, but at least compared to the past, this is good. Okay. Okay, so you can see very clearly that now why is the market coming down? Because it is below the diamond line, all right? It's below the diamond line and it's trading below OP. And this morning, you have just tested the MLP just moments ago. No wonder my phone rings. All right, the market just touched the MLP and rebounded. So which means that now the MLP is holding the fort. If the market can go down or will go down, it will retest the MLP and then trade down to the KCB that I mentioned, 4116. All right, so watch out for the MLP. It has to hold. If the MLP fail to hold up the market, the selling will likely be kicking in. Now, this morning we purchased gold and we made money because we buy above OP. That was a diamond line right here. So we buy above OP, buy above the diamond line. KSI was green, was perfect. MLP was there. So everything was good. That's why we made money. Now, after that, the market hit KTR plus one. It stopped there. I mean, what is crazy about the system is that how do you know that the market will stop there? It's a mathematic formula that I created since 2011 until now. 14 years has passed, and the calculation is still so good. So that is why I said CRAZII has its merits. If you understand how to make money from CRAZII, if you don't buy, even you just buy and sell somewhere around here, I mean, you just take profit. You enter the market somewhere around here and you take some profits around here, you're done. There's not really a reason why must you take profit in KTR plus one. As long as you think you're good, happy with the profit, you can take in the middle of it. You can take 3/4 of it. You can take 4/5 of it. It doesn't matter. This is why I've been telling people this. Look, the system itself is good, but how you can make more money from the system, how do you make it more accurate? You just have to just do a bit of fine tuning. You should be able to get it. Understand that, guys? I hope you get my hint here itself. Remember, you do not need to sell at KTR plus one. Although this is a target level, you can consider to sell somewhere below it, buy somewhere around here and make that money. As long as you make money, multiply by the lot size, you make the same money. Okay, understand this? If yes, press can tag the word yes for me. If you understand what I shared this morning, please do that. Okay. All right, so that is a very, very simple way to use the CRAZII system, yeah, when it is like that. Okay, so that is the goal. Let's look at the Dow Jones right now. Right, good to see you, Gabby. Right, Evelyn, I think you also got it. Very good, Janet, and our friend Jose. All right. Okay, so let's look at the Dow Jones this morning. By the way, I have already sold gold just now. I'm targeting to take some profit at MLP. I'm doing it live right now. I hope that you are also doing it together with me, yeah? Okay, so let me just do that. Okay, on. Okay, having some issue now. I probably jinx it. Okay, try to get the Dow over. Having some difficulty now at this moment. Okay, manage to pull in. Should be able to release and see the Dow. Okay. Okay, so the thing is this. Why yesterday the market top will record high? Because if you look carefully, the market highest point is here. So yesterday the Dow did not go to highest point, but it closed at the highest point. Different, right? Because the previous one, it closes here. So which means that the closing of yesterday is higher than the last time, but it did not create a new high. So I am kind of feeling this way. If the market do break below the pivot 2, I kind of believe that the market may come down to MLP. So I repeat myself, if the Dow Jones do break the pivot 2, I suspect that it may go down to touch the MLP. Now, why do I say that? Because as I said, the selling on Nasdaq, I don't think it will stop. And I think that for this Masayoshi-san or SoftBank to sell this Nasdaq, it does speak volume for its own. And also, I feel that the current valuation of the Nasdaq is really kind of overbought. Okay, that's my personal view. Yeah, I got I got some way to calculate this, but I mean, no one is perfect. It can be totally wrong. You know, that is how I feel it. Now, of course, if you are still bullish, you think the market will go higher, well, you can still target it to go all the way to pivot 1 instead. Yeah, you can still look for that. Okay. Now, for me, I think that the market should be testing the MLP, if you ask me. All right. So watch out for this. Now, one thing to note, the MA30 and the MA200 is very far away from one another. Now, this is kind of scary because you look carefully, if the market do break down and loses the MA30, right, it's going to be a free fall for quite a bit. That means that based on what we're seeing right now, if the market do break the MA30, there is a very high chance that there could be a free fall of approximately, let me just check it up and see. Okay, I think asking a bit too much for the internet. Okay, let's try this again. All right, I think it's a rough 1,300 points sell off. Yeah, if you ask me, if the market do break the MA30, it could actually be a 1,800 sell off. Okay, so traders, watch out for this. All right, I mean, I just got this very bad feeling on this market right now. So of course, again, I can be wrong. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so watch out for the pivot 2 first. Yeah, that's gonna be very important. Okay, I think that the goal has hit my MLP, my profit level. I can see my screen turning blue again. So that's good. All right. Okay, let's look at the NASDAQ and the Bitcoin before we wrap it up. All right. Let's hope I can do this. Okay, for those who have made money too, congratulations to all of you. Yeah. Thank you, Gabby. I saw your message. Okay. Okay. Right, seemingly I have some issues. I'm bringing the NASDAQ in. Okay, NASDAQ is in. Now, NASDAQ today, the opening price is 25,561. It's now trading above OP. That's good. But if the market breaks below the OP, be careful because that means it breaks below pivot 2. And the MLP is very nearby to the pivot 2. So that is a very important support of the market. Now, the MA30 is also very near to the current level. So if there's going to be some selling, again, same thing, if the market loses the MA30, then suspect there could be a bigger sell-off in the market based on the KCB theory, because there's no other KCB to be used. So this sell-off can be as high as more than 1,400 points, which is going to be catastrophic, right, if you ask me, because the market has been buying, the boys have been buying, so I don't think the market will let it go down so easily. But if it does do that, for whatever reason, oh my God, this is going to be bad. Now, of course, if the earnings are really inflated by Meta and the other company, right, then that is going to be very bad, yeah? So traders, be careful on this. I'm not too sure what will cause this, but then again, we need to be cautious, yeah? Based on the chart-wise, it doesn't look that pretty. Okay, last one will be the Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is always my favorite indicator to look at the NASDAQ. And because the Bitcoin now is coming down, so I kind of believe that in the next few days, the NASDAQ will come off. Now, if you look carefully, you put the NASDAQ and the Bitcoin step by side, right? You will notice that Bitcoin will usually move ahead first. Then after that, the NASDAQ will follow. Then after that, we see the other one, which is the Dow Jones. So now we have a bit of issue, guys. We have the market trading below OP, trading below pivot 2, but it's above OP. Okay, the OP is 102,618. Now it's trading a bit higher, but it's below pivot 2. That's very clear. The KSI is red. The market is below the MA30 and the MA200. That's very bearish. So with these two in the market, guys, I'm going to tell you this: be careful. Because if the Bitcoin do come down and stay below OP, Bitcoin can come back down to 99,500 again. So where are we right now? We're 103,000. So which means that now I'm saying that if there's going to be any sell-off in the market, be very careful. All right, there's a very good chance the market may trade down to 99,500 this week. And if that actually happens, that will give a bit of pressure point back to the NASDAQ, and NASDAQ will also be coming down. All right, guys, all clear? I hope you enjoyed today's sharing. I hope that you liked the session. I'm doing my best I could to bring the best to you. All right. So for all the fundamental information itself, I'll post to the different group chat later today. All right, guys, that will be all for today. Take care and thank you for coming in. Bye-bye.